Hey there. Drop your location in the comments. I'm curious which part of the world my viewers are from. Alright, let's get started. EDAH. Where's that useless girl? Yes, Mama. A blind man came for marriage. A blind concubine's son, worthless, just like you. Mama gave him to you. You're marrying a blind beggar tomorrow. Tomorrow. Mama, shut up. You should thank God anybody wants you. Pack your rubbish and leave my sight. Enough. We're done here. Mama, please. Who is your mama? Carry her for me. You will marry that blind prince. You useless girl. My people, folks, come on over here. Y'all wanna know how we got here? Sit down real good because this story is wild. It will make you laugh. It will pay you. And it will teach you wisdom. This is the story of Princess Ada. Now in this land, they call her Miss Ada Carter, the rejected daughter who was forced to marry a blind man. Are you ready? Alright now, let's step into this matter together. My people, let me tell you about Ada. This girl, she was beautiful. I'm not talking about ordinary beautiful. I'm talking about the kind of beauty that makes folks turn their heads twice on a dusty street in a frontier town. Her skin was smooth, her eyes were bright like the morning star rising over the plains, and her smile, it could cure a headache faster than any medicine. But you see, beauty alone cannot save a person in this life. When Ada was just 3 years old, her mother died just like that. The sheriff, her father, Sheriff Thomas Carter of Red Creek, tried to raise Ada by himself. But you know how folks are. Sheriff, this small girl needs a mother. They kept talking and talking until the man got tired. So he married again. Her name was Margaret. When she first came, she was acting like a saint. Oh my Ada, my beautiful daughter. Come, let me fix your hair. The whole town was clapping. See what a good stepmother. But my people, have you ever seen a masquerade remove his mask by himself? That's how Margaret was. She was just waiting. 3 months after the wedding, Margaret got pregnant. And the day she gave birth to that child, that was the day trouble started, like someone fired a starting gun in the middle of town. She gave birth to a girl. They named her Emily. From that day, Ada's life scattered like a broken bottle on a saloon floor. But my people, let me tell you something that will pain you. Ada was supposed to start school when she was 4 years old. But that wicked Margaret said Ada would not go to school until Emily was old enough to go with her. Can you imagine? This woman made that small girl wait years. So by the time Emily was ready, Ada was already older, starting school with little children. They wanted to embarrass her everywhere. Every morning, Ada would wake up at 4 a.m., before even the roosters crowed, to sweep the whole ranch yard, fetch water from the well filling 3 heavy buckets, then cook, wash plates, wash clothes, all before trekking miles to school late. Meanwhile, Emily woke up at 9 a.m., ate breakfast in bed, got bathed with warm water that Ada had fetched, then was sent to school in the sheriff's carriage while Ada walked under the hot sun. But that wasn't even the worst part. Margaret would wake up one morning and start shouting, "Ada, who broke my pot?" Ada didn't break anything. But before you could say Jack Robinson, Margaret had already torn her shawl, poured dust on her head, and started crying. "Oh, my husband, this wicked girl wants to kill me." The sheriff would run in. "Ada, why did you do this thing?" "Papa, I didn't." "Shut up. Don't call me Papa." And just like that, they would whip Ada. This thing continued for years. Every week, a new lie. "She stole my money." "She pushed Emily." The girl would just cry silently. In school too, Emily carried the wickedness there. "Teacher, Ada beat me." They punished Ada so much that her back had permanent marks. Ada had no friends. The only thing that made her happy was the quiet moment at the river where she would ask herself, "What did I do to deserve this life?" Now my people, let me tell you about their town. It wasn't rich, but their neighboring territory, Silver Ridge, that place had money like sand. Their leader, Governor Henry Blackwood, had more wealth than 10 towns combined. So one year, trouble came. Crops failed, rain didn't fall, hunger scattered everybody. Sheriff Carter sent a message. "My brother, we need help. Please lend us food, money, anything." Governor Blackwood sent them plenty of food, money, everything. He even sent people to teach them better farming. The man tried, but the debt grew heavy. Then one afternoon, a messenger came with a letter. When Sheriff Carter read it, his eyes nearly popped out. Governor Blackwood had one son, Wyatt Blackwood, 28 years old, tall, handsome, the heir. Instead of paying the debt, his son would marry one of the sheriff's daughters and the debt would be cancelled. Sheriff Carter nearly fainted with joy. He ran to show Margaret. "But you see this Margaret woman?" Her brain started calculating nonsense. "My husband, it's Emily who should marry him. That Ada with bad character. You want to shame us? Emily is beautiful, well-behaved. The prince will like her." She cried, got angry, threatened to leave. The sheriff just gave up. Okay. Now let me take you to Silver Ridge. Wyatt Blackwood, let me call him Wyatt, when his father told him about the marriage, he was angry. "Pa, I want to marry for love. You want to arrange a marriage for me? Just go and see the girl first." Wyatt thought. Then he got an idea. "Pa, I'll pretend to be blind. I want to see if any of those girls have real kindness. If I go as a rich man, everybody will pretend. But if I go as a nobody, I'll see their true character." Governor Blackwood smiled. "You have sense, my boy." But he added another layer. "I'll send my friend Samuel. He will pretend to be the nobleman, and you will act as his blind companion." You see, in those days, a man of no status had no respect. So if someone appeared poor or broken, people treated him like nothing. When the message reached the Carters that the visitor was coming in 3 days, the whole ranch scattered with preparation. Margaret nearly ran mad with excitement. They took Emily to town, got her expensive dresses, fancy hair, shining jewelry everywhere. The girl looked like she was ready for a grand ball. They cooked the best food, roasted meat, pies, stew, everything. And Ada, they told her she wouldn't join them when the guest came. "You, with your dirty appearance, you want to disgrace us? Stay in the back." Ada just bowed her head, wore her old faded dress, and stayed in the corner. That afternoon, a big carriage rolled in. The door opened. Samuel stepped out dressed like a wealthy gentleman, wearing dark glasses. The driver cleared his throat. "Good afternoon. I am here to introduce the son of Governor Blackwood's household. His name is Samuel. He is blind. My people—" Margaret's face changed immediately. The smile disappeared. Emily's face squeezed tight. All the excitement vanished. But because of the debt, they still welcomed them with fake smiles. After they served drinks, the whole atmosphere turned cold like winter wind blowing across the plains. Margaret couldn't even pretend anymore. You could see it on her face: disappointment, irritation, even anger. Then Samuel, still acting his role, said something that changed everything. "My brother, Wyatt Blackwood, will come later to choose his own bride." Margaret's ears caught that instantly. Her eyes lit up like lanterns in the dark. "The real gentleman is still coming?" "Yes, ma'am." Immediately, her whole attitude changed. She leaned close to Emily and whispered, "Did you hear? The real heir is coming. This blind fool is worthless. We'll give him Ada. Let the two useless people marry each other. Then you will marry the real one." They went straight to Sheriff Carter and spoke quietly. The sheriff sighed and nodded. "Bring Ada here." Ada came running from the kitchen, wiping her hands on her old dress. "Yes, Pa." The sheriff didn't even look at her face. "You will marry this man. His name is Samuel. He's blind. Pack your things. You are leaving tomorrow." "Pa, tomorrow? But you want to question me? You should thank God somebody agreed to marry you. If I say tomorrow, you are leaving tomorrow." Tears gathered in Ada's eyes. She looked at the blind man. Samuel. Something deep inside her spirit told her to just accept. She bowed her head. "Yes, Pa." Margaret was smiling wickedly in the corner, and Emily was laughing from the window. But something shocked everyone. After the announcement, Margaret and Emily disappeared inside the house. They didn't offer Samuel any attention. It was Ada who came forward quietly. She knelt beside him. "Sir, you must be hungry. Can I bring you food?" Samuel nodded slightly. Ada brought everything: fresh bread, stew, water, and gently placed it before him. Then she stayed beside him, guiding him carefully. "Sir, your plate is right in front of you. It's hot. Please be careful. Your water is on the left. I cut the meat into small pieces for you. Would you like me to hold the cup?" She didn't do it out of pity. She did it with genuine kindness, like it came straight from her heart. My people, Wyatt, who was watching everything quietly, his heart was beating fast. This girl, despite all the humiliation, despite everything they were doing to her, she was still kind. Throughout the evening, Ada was the only one attending to him. She asked if he needed anything. She spoke to him like a human being, not like a burden. When night came, Ada knocked gently on his door. "Sir, are you comfortable? Do you need an extra blanket?" "Thank you, Ada," he said softly. "You have a good heart." Ada smiled, a small, rare smile. "Good night, sir." Inside the room, Samuel removed his glasses and looked at Wyatt. "My prince, this girl is special. Despite everything, she treated us with kindness." Wyatt nodded slowly. "I saw everything." The next morning, they woke Ada up early. "Pack your things. You are leaving." Ada didn't have much. Just 2 old dresses, 1 blouse, a comb. She packed everything into a worn-out bag with a small tear in the corner. By sunrise, the carriage was ready. Sheriff Carter didn't even come outside to see her off. Margaret stood at the porch smiling, and Emily leaned against the window laughing. "Goodbye, Ada. Enjoy your blind husband. When the real gentleman comes, I'll send you an invitation to my wedding." Ada stepped into the carriage. Tears filled her eyes, but she didn't let them fall. As the carriage rolled away, she looked back one last time at the ranch. Even though it had given her nothing but pain, it still hurt to leave. But deep inside, something told her better days were coming. Halfway through the long journey, they stopped at a roadside inn. Wyatt, still pretending, turned slightly toward her. "Ada, are you hungry?" "No, sir. I can manage." "I didn't ask if you can manage. I asked if you're hungry." Ada hesitated. "Yes, sir." They went inside and ordered food. When it arrived, Wyatt's hands trembled slightly, pretending he couldn't find the plate. Ada quickly moved closer. "Sir, let me help." She gently fed him, blowing on each spoonful so it wouldn't be too hot. She wiped his mouth when needed, careful and patient. Wyatt watched her closely, even through the act. "This girl," he thought, "her heart is pure." By late afternoon, they reached Silver Ridge. My people, the sight alone could make a person lose their breath. The gates were tall and strong, the buildings shining under the sun, guards standing in perfect lines. Inside, there were gardens, fountains, everything neat and grand. As the carriage stopped, workers lined up. "Welcome, welcome our new lady." Ada froze. "Me." They led her inside to a room bigger than anything she had ever seen. A large bed, soft curtains, polished mirrors, a wardrobe filled with fine clothes. "This is your room." Ada stood there in silence. Tears began to fall, but this time, not from pain. From something new, something she had never felt before. She was being treated like she mattered. After she bathed and changed into a clean outfit, they told her, "The master wants to see you." Ada's heart began to race. She walked slowly into the room. Wyatt stood by the window, his back turned. "Sir." He turned around slowly and removed the dark glasses. "My people." The man standing there was not blind. He was tall, strong, handsome, confident. His eyes were sharp, clear. Ada's breath caught. You can see." He smiled. "I was never blind, Ada. I only pretended." "Pretended? But why?" He stepped closer. "Because I wanted to know the truth. I wanted to see who had a good heart. And Ada, you have the kindest heart I've ever seen." Ada couldn't speak. Tears rolled down her face. "From the moment I arrived," he continued, "I saw how they treated me when they thought I was nothing. But you even when you were forced, even when you were suffering, you still treated me with kindness." He took a deep breath. "My name is Wyatt Blackwood. And you, Ada, you are my wife. My real wife. And I promise you, I will treat you like the queen you deserve to be." Ada dropped to her knees, overwhelmed. All the pain, all the years of suffering, it felt like it was being washed away. Wyatt quickly helped her up. "Don't cry. You're home now. No one will hurt you here." From that moment on, my people, Ada's life changed completely. The same girl who used to wake before dawn to suffer now woke up to peace, respect, and care. Wyatt treated her with love every single day. Every morning, he greeted her with a warm smile, asked about her well-being, made sure she was comfortable. He treated her gently, like something precious, like something that could break if handled roughly. The people in Silver Ridge loved her too. Why? Because even though she now lived in luxury, Ada never allowed pride to enter her heart. She still greeted the workers. She still helped in the kitchen sometimes. She still spoke kindly to everyone, from the guards at the gate to the cooks preparing meals. She remained humble. When Governor Henry Blackwood finally met her properly, he smiled deeply. "My son," he said to Wyatt, "you chose well. This young woman. I can see goodness written all over her face." One afternoon, he presented Ada with a large wooden chest. When she opened it, my people, it was filled with gold jewelry, necklaces, earrings, bracelets, all shining bright. "Sir, this is too much," Ada said softly. "My daughter," the governor replied, "you deserve it." Ada couldn't hold back her tears. For the first time in her life, she felt valued. After 1 month, the governor made a grand announcement. "We will host the biggest wedding this land has ever seen." My people, preparations began immediately. They brought the finest fabrics, the most beautiful dresses, carefully designed just for Ada. Jewelry was prepared, decorations arranged, and cooks were hired to prepare food for thousands of guests. They built a massive canopy, stretching wide like a festival ground. Musicians were invited. Important people from different towns and territories were sent invitations, including Red Creek. When the invitation reached Sheriff Carter's home, Margaret opened it. As she read the message, her hands began to shake. "Ada, that useless girl? They are hosting a grand wedding for her." Emily grabbed the letter. "But I thought she married a blind man. How did this happen?" Margaret's mind began racing. Something is not right. But this is our chance. Pack your best clothes. We are going. And when we get there, you will win the real gentleman over. On the day of the wedding, Silver Ridge transformed into something extraordinary. Music filled the air, decorations covered every corner, and guests arrived from far and wide. The tables were filled with food, roasted meats, pies, fresh bread, stews, more than anyone could count. Drinks flowed freely, laughter echoed everywhere. Margaret and Emily arrived dressed in their finest. Margaret kept looking around, searching. "Where is this gentleman?" Emily smiled confidently. "Don't worry, Mama. When I see him, I will handle it." Then the moment came. The announcer stepped forward. "Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome our beautiful bride, Miss Ada Carter." Music began to play, and Ada stepped forward. My people, she was stunning. Her dress was elegant, flowing beautifully as she walked. Her jewelry shined, but it wasn't what made her stand out. It was her glow. The happiness on her face, the peace in her eyes, that was her true beauty. The crowd reacted immediately. "Look at her. She's beautiful. What a bride." Margaret and Emily froze. That is Ada." Their mouths hung open. They couldn't believe what they were seeing. Ada walked past them slowly. Their eyes met for a brief moment. Ada simply smiled, then continued walking. That smile alone burned them inside. After Ada took her place, the announcer spoke again. "And now, please welcome the groom, Wyatt Blackwood." Music rose again. Wyatt stepped forward, dressed sharply, confident, every bit the man of status. Emily's eyes lit up. "Mama, that's him." But as he came closer, her face slowly changed. "Wait. Mama, That face. Margaret looked carefully. Then suddenly, shock hit her. No, it can't be. That blind man, Emily whispered. That was him. Wyatt reached Ada, took her hand, and led her forward. The announcer continued, "Our groom tested for something greater than beauty. He disguised himself to discover true character." The crowd gasped. He appeared as a man with nothing, to see who would treat him with kindness. And only one person did. Only one person showed him true compassion. The announcer raised his voice. "That person is Ada." The crowd erupted, clapping, cheering, shouting. Meanwhile, Margaret and Emily stood frozen in shame. Then suddenly, Margaret stood up. "I reject this," she shouted. The entire place went silent. She pushed forward, pointing at Ada. "This girl is nothing. The one who should marry him is my daughter." People began murmuring. Wyatt's expression turned serious. "Madam, what are you saying?" "My daughter is better," Margaret insisted. "She deserves this, not that useless girl." Emily stepped forward, tears in her eyes. "Yes, I am better than her. Choose me instead." The crowd reacted with disbelief. Some laughed. Some shook their heads. Wyatt looked at Emily calmly, then shook his head. You are the one who looked at me with disgust when you thought I was nothing. You couldn't even offer me water." Emily froze. He turned to Margaret. "And you planned to give me away because you thought I was worthless." Margaret couldn't speak. Wyatt's voice grew stronger. "I wanted to see true beauty, not outside, but inside. And I found it. Not in wealth, not in appearance, but in kindness." He turned toward Ada. "She treated me like a human being when everyone else saw nothing." The crowd burst into applause. Governor Blackwood stepped forward. "Remove them," he ordered calmly. Guards moved in and escorted Margaret and Emily away as they shouted and protested. But nobody listened. Then silence fell again. Ada stood slowly and walked toward her father, Sheriff Carter, who sat with his head lowered in shame. She knelt before him. "Pa." He looked up, tears in his eyes. "I don't deserve your forgiveness. I failed you." Ada spoke gently. "I forgive you." The crowd held its breath. "I forgive you, Pa. I don't want to carry bitterness in my heart." Sheriff Carter broke down completely. "I'm sorry. I'm so sorry." Ada placed her hand on his. "Just be better." People around them wiped their tears. Even the strongest men were moved. Wyatt stepped forward, held Ada's hand, and lifted her up. Governor Blackwood smiled proudly. "You truly have a heart of gold." Then the celebration continued. Music returned, people danced, food was served in abundance. Laughter filled the air once again. As night fell, fireworks lit up the sky, bright colors bursting across the darkness. Ada and Wyatt stood together, watching. "Are you happy?" he asked softly. "I have never been happier," she replied. He smiled. "Good. Because this is only the beginning." Ada looked at him with gratitude. "Thank you for seeing me." He gently held her. "Thank you for being who you are. And my people." That is how the girl they rejected became the woman everyone celebrated. "Now, go and comment. I'm waiting."